Whoa! I never thought about that!
Let's talk about that magical box that sits in pretty much every kitchen, the microwave oven. We use it all the time, right? But how many of us really know what's going on inside? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain. You know the drill, but have you ever just stopped for a second and thought about how strange it all is? It's a bunch of simple steps that honestly lead to a kind of weird and wonderful result.
I mean, think about it. It starts off simple enough. You just pop your food inside.
You hit a few buttons, maybe the add 30 seconds one a couple of times. And just like that, you hear that familiar beep, 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 and your food is steaming hot. It really does feel a little bit like magic. But it's not perfect magic, is it? Oh no, we've all been there. You take a bite of your burrito, and one part is like the surface of the sun, and the next is still frozen solid. And of course, there's that terrifying warning we all got as kids, never ever put metal in there. So these are the big mysteries we're going to solve today. To understand how the microwave does its thing, we need to meet its secret weapon. And no, it's not fire, and it's not a hot coil like in your regular oven. It's something you can't even see. The name kind of gives it away, doesn't it? The appliance uses, get this, microwaves. These are a type of electromagnetic wave that are literally all around us, all the time. You can think of them as cousins to the Wi-Fi signals that connect you to the internet or the radio waves that bring you music. But these waves have a very, very special talent. And the craziest part? This whole technology was discovered completely by accident. True story. During World War II, an engineer named Percy Spencer was working on radar stuff, and he noticed that a chocolate bar he had in his pocket had turned into a gooey mess. He put two and two together, realized the radar's microwaves were doing it, and boom, the microwave oven was born. So here's how those invisible waves actually cook your food. See, everything you eat has tons of water molecules in it. When the microwaves blast into your food, they basically tell those tiny water molecules to start dancing, like vibrating like crazy. All that super fast movement creates friction, and as we all know, friction creates heat. Here's a super simple way to think about it. Imagine you grab a water bottle and just shake it as hard and as fast as you possibly can. After a little bit, you'd actually feel the water inside start to get warm from all that energy. That is exactly what the microwave is doing, but on a tiny, microscopic level to every single water molecule in your leftovers. Okay, so that explains where the heat comes from. But what about our first mystery? You know, the dreaded cold spot right in the middle of a piping hot meal? Well, the inside of your microwave is a metal box, right? That's on purpose. It makes the waves bounce all over the place. The thing is, this creates a really uneven pattern of energy inside. You get these areas where the waves are super concentrated. Those are your hot spots. And then you get other areas where the waves are really weak or they even cancel each other out. And yep, you guessed it, those are the cold spots. And that, my friends, is why your microwave has that rotating plate. Its entire job is to be a little tour guide, moving your food through all those different hot and cold zones to try and get a more even cook. This is also why things with more water heat up faster, and why a big, dense block of food is so much harder to heat evenly than food spread out in a circle. All right, on to mystery number 2, and this one's a bit more dramatic. Why does putting a piece of foil or a fork in the microwave create your own personal lightning strong? Let's get into it. So the whole answer comes down to one thing: electrons. In stuff that's microwave safe, like glass or ceramic, the electrons are locked down tight. The microwaves just pass right through. But metal? Oh, metal is totally different. It's packed with what you could call free-range electrons that can just wander around wherever they want. So check this out. This is exactly what happens with a fork. The microwaves hit the metal, and all those free electrons get super excited, and they rush to the sharpest points. In this case, the pointy tips of the fork. An intense electric charge builds up and up and up until it literally can't hold on anymore, and it leaps through the air to find the nearest bit of metal. That jump, that is the spark you see. It's a tiny little bolt of lightning happening right there in your kitchen. So, we've solved our main mysteries. But before we finish up, we have to talk about one of the biggest myths about microwave ovens that almost everyone believes. I'm sure you've said it, I'm sure you've heard it a million times. It's the classic explanation for how microwaves work, right? Oh, they cook from the inside out. But is that actually true? The short answer, no, not really. It's one of those things that sounds right, and it's a super common misconception, but it gets the science just a little bit wrong. Here's the real story. Microwaves only actually penetrate the food by about an inch or so. They heat up that outer layer really fast by shaking the water molecules, just like we talked about. And from there, the heat just travels to the colder center of the food through plain old conduction, which is the exact same way heat gets to the middle of a cake you're baking in a regular oven. So when you boil it all down, your microwave isn't magic at all. It's just a really clever machine that uses invisible waves to shake water molecules into getting hot. And those scary sparks? They're just tiny lightning bolts caused by a traffic jam of electrons. And that kind of makes you wonder, right? What other everyday gadgets in your house seem to work like pure magic? Chances are there's some incredible and probably surprisingly simple science hiding in plain sight, just waiting to be explained.
And that's just one tiny big question. Imagine what's next. Subscribe, and let's keep wondering.